Well, a very good morning and welcome to this edition of the topical discussion. I am Simon Kagwanjala. As the political steam now builds towards elections, there are quite a number of undercurrents that either seem to be ignored or are not dominating the political conversation. And that's exactly where we want to dwell this morning, with, of course, the NRM gaining a lot of spotlight ahead of their much hyped Delegates Conference that is slated for 27th of this month, that will also see SEC, members of SEC being elected in the process. It's been quite a thorny process, and it's involved quite some bruising. But what's at the heart of all this? Plus, the emerging forces that will be on the ballot paper. We have Nandala, who has also now stepped in as the presidential flag bearer for the FDC, joining a list of several others. Does this speak to a healthy democracy? Or will 2026 be an election like no other? Joining me this morning is Honorable Emmanuel Dombo Lumala, the Director of Communications at the NRM Secretariat. Good to have you and a very good morning.
Simon, thank you very much and good morning, viewers. And it's a pleasure for me to be here.
How are you watching the showdown between Kadaga and Anitamo?
Well, first of all, to the innocent observers who have never known how NRM or SEC works, this should show you how important the Central Executive Committee is as an organ of the party. Because by the time you see a former Speaker of Parliament and a current Speaker of Parliament
going native,
jostling to join that forum, to belong there, that should tell you how important the Central Executive Committee is. On a more positive side, it shows you that multipartyism is taking root, because people have started deliberately aspiring to belong to those organs of the party that are responsible for making very important decisions. That's the first one. The second one is that nobody expected it to go this native. This I must tell you and must confess. I've been in the NRM, I've been a member of parliament. I have witnessed previous elections, but this one is a little bit bare knuckle. But I'm also aware that today, Dr. Odoi and the NRM, the Secretary General, have invited all the aspirants. And when they come in for the meeting, this could be some of the issues that are going to be.
Yeah, but all right, Honorable Kadaga has already discounted Tango Odoi's commission, labeling it as incompetent and partial.
Does she have her own commission?
Well, she's vouching for another independent, more independent and more competent.
Right, Honorable Kadaga recently participated in an election. And it was pretended over by the same commission. She may have her misgivings, which may be addressed in the right forum and by appropriate authorities. But for now, we have one electoral commission in the National Resistance Movement, and it is headed by Dr. Tanga Odoi. So whoever has any misgivings about it, then they should raise it either in the Central Executive Committee or with the nominating authority.
How weighty are her complaints? She said Tango Odoi has already messed up elections, primaries, party primaries, and she cannot handle a very delicate process that is SEC.
People have complained about many things, some of them rightly, some of them ignorantly. There are people who are vying for SEC and they are going to be vetted by the Central Executive Committee. Some of them have said, how can we be vetted by the same committee where the people we are competing with are members? That is an issue which has been raised. It is an issue which has been raised against the likes of Right Honorable Kadaga herself, because some people are going to compete as the national vice chairpersons. Others are competing as the vice chairpersons for the regions. So these have been complaints that are going to be addressed as and when that time comes. But for her to say Dr. Tanga has messed up the elections, unless she doesn't have the statistics. In the previous elections, the one preceding this one that we are in, we had over 1,600 election petitions. In this current one, we barely have 300 petitions. So this should show you that because of the challenges we had in the other election, where we didn't have a register, the complaints were more than what is happening now. There have been extreme incidents in this election. I don't want to say that it was scot-free, because we have had people dying, we have had members of parliament flexing. You saw a member of parliament belonging to one of the regions chasing an opponent with Nkoni. These are not gleeful things for us to celebrate about. But when you look at the general conduct of the elections and the outcome of the results, the problem is not Dr. Tanga Odoi is here at the top. He may take collective blame because he's the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, but most of the problems have been caused by the candidates themselves. When people touched the vehicles in Isinjiro, was Dr. Tanga Odoi there? When you look at...
Honorable, you sound dismissive, but the sentiment being raised by Right Honorable Kadaga must be shared by quite a number of others who believe that perhaps NRM needs to do something about its Electoral Commission.
We are right now taking stock of what is happening in the electoral process. And the Right Honorable Secretary General has already directed that we are compiling a report about the conduct of the elections so that he can provide an adequate report to the Central Executive Committee when they meet. Right Honorable Kadaga is entitled to her complaints and the views that he has observed. I don't know what happened in Kamuli during her recent elections. I don't know whether that is because Dr. Tanga Odoi or the individuals who may be wrong here. Somebody was making an accusation, which I think was very wrong because I didn't watch it. Was saying that in Kamuli there were some policemen who were seen in the line voting. I don't think Dr. Tanga Odoi could have put the policemen in the line to vote, if indeed they did. So this election, at various levels of participation, there are areas where the candidates themselves are culpable for inciting violence, for bribing voters. You saw ministers in lines, not only ministers but aspirants and candidates, but also including ministers, in the lines giving money. You saw others giving alcohol. Those are not gleeful practices which you must be proud about as a party. But when you go to the conduct of the elections itself, we have the election officials who are under Dr. Tanga Odoi who misbehaved as individuals. As we talk now, we have some few behind the bars who have participated in the election malpractices like falsification of results. People go to the village, they vote properly, they line up properly, but after writing the results, then people go on changing the results by either adding a zero or adding a stroke so that a zero appears as if it is either 90 or 60.
But ultimately, how shameful is it for the NRM that the two seniors are washing their dirty linen in public?
Of course, that's not proper because NRM has a code of conduct, and they know it. It's a code of...
How come you're not reining in as a party, as the leadership of the party?
But I told you that today they have called for a meeting. What else did you want them to do?
So has it precipitated into a crisis?
No, it isn't.
That warrants a meeting to calm the storm.
No, when you are a leader, you need to be constantly reminded.